focus. Ideate, innovate, enable.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Decoding Business Growth. I'm Sumaira Abdi. Well, this week's story is very interesting. It's about ReNew Power Venture, the Gurgaon-based company which is into renewable energy. In a short span of time, this company has raised eyebrows in the market by their astounding performance. And what's made that possible? Well, obviously, the man who heads this company, Sumant Sinha. He has a deadly combination. So academically, he's very strong with degrees from IIT Delhi, IIM Kolkata as well as Columbia University. And in terms of business exposure, well, he's worked for large industrial groups, investment banking, both in India and abroad. Sumant Sinha, maybe recall, was the CFO of the Aditya Birla Group and also the founder CEO of Aditya Birla Retail, and more recently, the Chief Operating Officer at Suzlon Energy, the world's third largest renewable energy company. Prior to this, he was an international investment banker, having worked in New York and London with Citibank and ING Bearings. So he's put all of this experience into ReNew Power Ventures. Today, ReNew Power is not listed, but if and when they go for listing, we're sure this group will be a bang for the buck for investors. So take a look at ReNew Power's electrifying growth story.
Seems unprecedented. In a short span of 4 years, this company has managed to create a strong presence in the renewable energy space. The company is Gurgaon-based ReNew Power Ventures Private Limited, an independent power producer whose corporate credo is to deliver cleaner and smarter energy and thereby reduce India's carbon footprint. ReNew Power is into both wind and solar energy. In wind energy, it has a portfolio of 14 operational projects in 4 states. In Gujarat, Karnataka and Rajasthan, through its 5 projects, the company generates 134 megawatts of clean electricity, while in Maharashtra it generates 358.65 megawatts through its 9 projects. All these projects have resulted in the company emerging as one of the largest players in the wind power segment by generating close to over 500 megawatts. In the case of solar projects, where the potential to generate clean power is huge, ReNew Power has a pipeline of close to 250 megawatt solar projects across the country. It has already set up 57.5 megawatt ground-mounted grid-connected solar PV project in Madhya Pradesh. This astounding growth story is reflected in its financials. It posted a net profit of 13.73 crore rupees in 2013-2014 from a loss of 4.2 crore rupees in 2012. Little wonder this unlisted company with a turnover of 61 crore rupees in FY14 is already a big draw with private equity players. And credit for creating that reputation goes to 50-year-old Sumant Sinha, founder CEO, who has had interesting exposures. After majoring from IIT Delhi and acquiring an MBA from IIM Kolkata, Sinha joined the Tata Administrative Services. After a 2-year stint, he went to the US to study International Public Affairs at Columbia University. Soon after that, he became an investment banker, working with the likes of Citibank, ING Bearings in the US and UK. In 2002, he came to India and joined Aditya Birla Group as the CFO. Later, he became the CEO of Aditya Birla Retail. In 2008, he joined Suzlon Energy as the COO and helped it refinance its outstanding debt of $3 billion. This experience would stand him in good stead when he set up his own outfit, ReNew Power.
It was clear to me that over time there would be more opportunities in the area of clean energy as being one of the key parameters to control carbon emissions going forward. And at that time, looking at also at India's overall energy deficit and energy security, renewable energy actually became a solution both to the climate change issue, but also the solution to India's energy deficit and energy independence as well. And when I saw the cost of clean energy at that point in time, wind was already trending towards grid parity, solar costs were also coming down quite dramatically, and so therefore it was fairly apparent even 5-6 years ago that in fact the future of energy lay in the area of clean energy for both the issues of climate change as well as the issue of overall pricing going forward. And it is, over the last 4 or 5 years, my conviction in the space has only actually increased quite a bit. Given the developments in the space that we've seen, solar now is costed at around 6 rupees 50 paise, wind is even less than that, and so the gap between conventional power and renewable energy is actually very narrow now.
Like every startup, even Sinha faced teething troubles. The biggest one was finance. Renewable energy is a capital-intensive business, and Sumant had to raise funds against the backdrop of the Eurozone crisis in 2011.
When we started operations, we started implementing projects. Obviously, the need was to raise large sums of money to fund the plans the company had that time. And at that point in time, apart from private equity, the other option perhaps was a listing on AIM in London. And I think that was an option that was looked at, but perhaps the timing at that point in time was not right. The discussion and the talks that were held with Goldman Sachs were obviously moved at a fast pace. They showed a lot of interest in supporting the growth of the company. Based on the understandings that were arrived at with them, we thought that that was the best route to follow in terms of fundraising for us as when we started as a company.
Sumant Sinha certainly charmed the private equity players, as ReNew Power till date has raised $390 million in 3 tranches. In 2011, the company raised $160 million from Goldman Sachs Wyvern Holdings. In 2012, Goldman Sachs infused another $90 million. In 2014, the Asian Development Bank invested $50 million. South Asian Clean Energy Fund, a private equity managed by the Global Environment Fund, invested $20 million, and Goldman Sachs made an additional equity investment of $70 million. Effectively, Goldman Sachs has invested $320 million in ReNew Power. Clearly, Sumant Sinha's foresight and value creation mindset, supported by funding from private equity players, has helped ReNew Power clock phenomenal growth. From a mere 25.2 megawatts installed capacity in 2012 to 134.8 megawatts in 2013, which further increased to 403 megawatts in 2014, ReNew Power today has a capacity of 544 megawatts, making it one of the fastest growing clean energy companies in the country. The company has a strong pipeline of 700 megawatts of wind and solar projects under commissioning in the states of Madhya Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Apart from building up capacities, the company has also invested in ReNew Power Information System, which is developed by IBM. This system will help in monitoring assets in real time and perform online diagnostics to improve the overall performance. Well, that indeed is a remarkable success story in a sector that has yet to take off in a big way in India. On that note, it is time for a short break. When we come back, CNBC TV 18's Sumaira Abdi talks to Mridul Mehta of ICICI Securities to decode ReNew Power Ventures' success story. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Success did not come to Sumant Sinha on a platter. He worked for it both in India and abroad. His academic background, professional experience in the corporate world honed his entrepreneurial skills. Sumaira Abdi caught up with Mridul Mehta of ICICI Securities to get a clinical analysis of what makes ReNew Power tick.
Mridul, renewable energy is really the buzzword now. So a lot of the big business houses, Adani's, Reliance, NTPC, say, they're all getting into this segment. So what is it that makes you so sanguine about ReNew Power that they're going to be able to take on the might of these biggies when it comes to bidding for contracts or, so on and so forth? How will they be able to manage this?
Sumaira, the renewable market in India is fairly large. The government itself has announced that they would like to set up 100,000 megawatts of solar power, 60,000 megawatts of wind power besides biomass and hydropower by 2022. So if you just look at the size of the opportunity, there's enough for everybody to set up these projects. And if you look at it from a solar point of view, the entire journey has just about started. There are not too many projects of size which are available. It's just now that some of the states have started bidding. Wind, one has seen some bit of traction. So if you look at just the opportunity, it's fairly large for everybody to put in new projects.
Yeah, so there's enough fun for everyone. But, when you're assessing a company, okay, so listed is not that difficult, but an unlisted space can get a little tricky. So what is it about ReNew that has actually prompted interest from your side?
Number one is the management team. I think Sumant and his team are a great quality team which we like. Number two, the sponsors, Goldman Sachs, when they actually set it up, they have committed a large amount of capital, have been really behind them. They have managed to attract marquee investors in ADB and GEF. As a result of these things, they have actually built up scale. They have more than 500 megawatts of operational capacity. They have projects funded of almost 1300 megawatts. And that is achieving scale. There are not too many people, too many groups which can actually say that they have built up a renewable portfolio of such scale. And that is one of the primary reasons why we like ReNew.
So 2011, which is when this company was set up till now, is a very short time in the lifespan of this company. But they have seen a phenomenal rate of growth so far. Is this kind of growth sustainable?
Absolutely sustainable. See, if you look at, as I said, look from the larger market point of view, the opportunity is there. And if you look at it from whether the company is equipped to actually grow at that same rate, number one, what they require is capital, which they have. They have a good pipeline. They have put together a team which can set up 500 to 700 megawatts of renewable power, solar and wind over the next 5 years. So if you look at it from a 5-year perspective, they could well be a 4,000, 5,000 megawatt company. And that's what is called scale in India, which is we have not seen till now.
Okay, so in that case, like you mentioned that, so far their primary source of funding has been private equity. Would this be a good time for them to be tapping the capital market? I mean, we've seen a phenomenal listing for Inox Wind. Could they be that next big IPO?
Very much so. What do the investors really look at? They are going to see whether their company is achieving scale, whether the management team is good, what is the quality of the sponsors, what has been the performance of the projects which they have actually set up, and by in the next 1 or 2 years, the company will have a demonstrated track record of projects which have actually been performing well and generating cash flows. The last most important thing is whether the company has the requisite growth potential to deliver returns to the investors. And if you look at all these aspects, the company does tick the boxes. And we definitely feel there's no reason why the company cannot command a premium in the market, not be the next big IPO. There have not been too many renewable companies which are generating companies on the renewable side which have actually tapped the market. We are very confident that this company in the next 12-24 months, when it decides to come to the capital market, will be a huge success.
All right, Mridul, thanks so much for sharing your thoughts with us.
A pleasure, Sumaira. Thanks a lot.
Well, it is quite an insight. On that note, it's time for another short break. When we come back, we look at what made Goldman Sachs pour $320 million into this venture. Stay tuned. Welcome back. ReNew Power, within a short span, has gained a lot of traction amongst private equity players across the globe. Sumaira Abdi spoke to Ankur Sahu of Goldman Sachs, the largest investor in the company, to understand his investment philosophy.
So, Ankur, this $320 million that Goldman Sachs has actually put into ReNew Power is over 80% of their funding needs. So what is it about ReNew Power that actually struck you guys that made you put in this kind of money?
When we met Sumant, we were very impressed with his vision, which was to create the largest renewable energy platform in the country to address the country's increasing energy needs. We were impressed with his entrepreneurial spirit, his passion, his energy, his experience, and together we believe that we could achieve what we had set out to do. Already, ReNew is the largest and fastest growing renewable energy company in India, with over 1 gigawatts of capacity soon to be operational later this year.
Okay. So what is it about ReNew that actually singularly appeals to you?
I think first and foremost, it's Sumant Sinha and the management team, which we believe is world-class, and their ability to articulate a strategy in this dynamic market, and most importantly, execute towards that strategy. Today, ReNew is contributing a large percentage of India's wind and an increasingly larger percentage of Indian solar power needs. We believe that this will continue in the future.
So would you continue pumping in more money into this company?
Goldman Sachs is committed to continue to support ReNew not only financially, but also operationally. We've leveraged our network to bring to bear for ReNew's benefit. We have, for example, invited world-class partners in Asian Development Bank and Green Energy Fund to be our co-investors. Furthermore, we've leveraged our network to help with sourcing of panels and wind turbines, and also helped with finding creative financial solutions for the company's needs. We believe that the company is a leader and will continue to be so, and we're looking constantly for partners and people who can help contribute over the long run and who have the same vision as us.
One thing that is loud and clear is that ReNew Power is in an industry that is the focus of the NDA government. In his budget speech, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley talked about attaining renewable power production targets of 1,75,000 megawatts by 2022. Of this, solar power will have the lion's share of 1,00,000 megawatts, followed by wind energy at 60,000 megawatts, 10,000 megawatts of biomass energy, and 5,000 megawatts of small hydro projects.
The government obviously has a big impact on the sector, and therefore their targets and their plans have a big impact on how the sector unfolds. And very hearteningly for us, this government has come out with extremely aggressive plans. Now, to meet those targets of 160,000 megawatts by that time, starting with a base of 30,000 megawatts today, we need to add about 130,000 megawatts in the next literally 6 to 7 years, which means almost 15 to 20,000 megawatts have to be added every year. Now, of course, we'll probably start slower and ramp up towards the end of that time period, but certainly whatever we end up doing are going to be multiple orders of magnitude more than what we're doing today. I think 5 years from now, we should be, just continue to add capacity. If we keep adding 500, 700 megawatts every year, over a 5-year period, we would have added another 2,500, 3,000 megawatts. We would be a maybe $3 to $5 billion sized company by that point in time from a purely asset standpoint. We might have listed, so we would be trading in the marketplace perhaps at that point in time. I don't know, who can say what our market cap would be. We would be a broad-based company as far as both wind and solar is concerned. We might have diversified into other areas like rooftop solar or perhaps hydro. Hard to say. One of the things I have learned in my years in the corporate sector is ultimately you have to leave behind something that is lasting. And so therefore what I'd really like to do is to leave behind an organization that is sustainably able to grow and sustainably able to find its competitive position in the Indian corporate landscape going forward.
Surely, ReNew Power has electrifying growth ahead. With a strong pipeline of capacity under construction, ReNew Power could well be the next multi-bagger.
Well, looking at the growth rate, the number of projects operational and in the pipeline gives one a clear indication that the management of this company is very clear and very focused. They know exactly where they want to go and how they want to get there. Here I'm reminded of what Einstein said, information is not knowledge. The only source of knowledge is experience. And this observation of Einstein fits with Sumant Sinha to the T. He's put years of experience to create ReNew Power, which is on its way to becoming a valuable company. On that note, it's time to say goodbye. See you next week with another growth story of a successful company. Till then, keep watching CNBC TV 18.